Hello everyone and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt and on today's episode I thought since my last episode was Transformers The Last Night, which is a blockbuster that in my opinion, my humble opinion, wasn't that great, I thought that we would do last summer's big blockbuster fail, Independence Day Resurgence. Now I didn't see this movie when it came out, no one did, that's why it was a fail. But it happened to be on HBO Now, and I have HBO Now because of Game of Thrones. So I thought, you know what, might as well watch it. Why not, right? The least it'll do is give me a good laugh from the terribleness that it is, but of course I haven't seen this, so maybe I like it. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. Okay, did I like this movie? The answer is no. The movie felt way too long. The dialogue is the worst, well, one of the worst dialogue I've ever heard in a movie. It is so bad. It was so bad and so cheesy that I was actually saying the lines that other people were saying before they said it. Like, come on, some of those one-liners were so predictable and so bad. And this movie's supposed to make me laugh. The only time I laughed once, and it was when Jeff Goldblum's dad called one of the kids' dads a putz because he thought that it was a whole conspiracy theory about the whole alien thing. That I thought was funny. But everything else stunk. I legitimately feel sorry for these actors that signed on to these and got that script. Like, are you kidding me? If I am one of these newer actors and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna star in Independence Day #2 and it's gonna be the big breakout of my career and you know, it's gonna be huge, it's gonna be epic, and it's probably gonna be a trilogy. And then you get the script, and then you start shooting, and then you're like, this movie is shit. And honestly, the whole theory behind this movie, you know, of a second attack that is incredibly worse, and this idea that these alien things that keep attacking them go around the galaxy and steal planets' cores, and there's an actual, like, intergalactic war, is actually kind of cool. Like, that in itself is kind of a cool plot to a trilogy, if this would be a trilogy. I don't know if this would have just been another movie or if it would have been 5 movies or whatever. I think it would have been a nice contained trilogy if, you know, they wrote the script right. And they had so many characters that you just did not give a crap about. And it's because of the dialogue that was given for that. Because they could have been really cool. It could have been like this new wave of new kids who are like super badass and can fight alien people, and could have been really cool, but it wasn't. And you know what? I'm gonna start spoiling stuff because it's been a year since this movie's out. No one who hasn't seen it by now is going to watch it, let's be real. That scene where I had to watch Will Smith's son watch his mom, aka Will Smith's wife, fall to her death off of a hospital after it collapses, might quite possibly be one of the worst scenes in cinematic history. I think I'm safe to say that. It was so void of any emotion. You don't care at all. You haven't even seen a scene with those two actors in it together, so it built up to nothing. Also, it was a stupid way to die. It was stupid. All of the character deaths in this entire movie, I did not cry. And that's saying something, because I cry at every movie. Like, literally, when a fly dies in a movie, I will cry. I don't know what it is. I just get so attached to these movies. Even if it's a bad movie, I cry. I cried in Cheaper by the Dozen, the first one. Who does that? But the point is that I cared so little about all these characters in the storyline that I didn't even shed a tear. And that's saying something from me. And it's like, were there parts that I liked? I don't even know. And there was no chemistry between that trio of people of Liam Hemsworth, the old president's daughter, and Will Smith's dad. I don't know any of their names. Sorry. No chemistry though. Like, come on. They're supposed to be best friends and they're supposed to be dating and they all went to like a flight academy together. I mean, come on. And at least they let her go into a plane and help save the day. I was in that middle of the movie or towards the end or whenever the climax started happening. It was like a 40,000-minute climax, I swear. When that started happening and she was kind of not really doing anything, even though it showed that she has been trained as a fighter pilot, I was like, I swear to God, if they don't get her in a plane and shooting at something, I'm gonna be pissed. So at least they did that, even though I'm still pissed that they didn't keep Mae Whitman in the character, because let's be real, Mae Whitman is a national treasure. And the fact that she got recast in this movie is a damn shame. And then there's Liam Hemsworth's character, who seemed a little bit unlikable and like a little too much like, I'm trying to be the witty cool guy. And you got Will Smith's son, who like had no character development in the entire movie. Like, I mean, I literally like, him watching his mom die was terrible. And the fact that it wasn't terrible to watch. Did that make any sense? Because I don't know if it did. Jeff Goldblum was relegated to a bunch of one-liners that didn't work, and then you had, oh, who else was in this movie? Bill Pullman was in this movie as the president, and he woke up as kind of crazy-ish and like PTSD-ish, which is understandable, but he's the president, well, the old president of the United States, who gave one of the best speeches in history of movies, and, you know, he died a heroic death, I guess. Not really, because he didn't actually kill the queen, so he died a pointless death. He took out the spaceship, I guess, but the queen had that armor with a giant gun. Oh my god, that part. At least if the queen just had the armor and not the gun, it would have been a little bit more, like, not stupid. But it was stupid. Oh, and then Liam Hemsworth's little friend guy that was hitting on the Chinese girl the entire time. What was that about? The Chinese girl seemed kind of cool, but we didn't actually get to know her at all. Besides, you know, she was a little heartbroken when her uncle got killed. He was the first one dead because he was on the moon, and I don't even want to explain it, really. Also, can I just say this? There's a line in this movie that literally said something along the lines of humans being really impressive and that they're one of the strongest species that they've met. Written by other humans, because aliens have at least not been publicly known. How egotistical do we as human beings have to be to literally write that in a movie? And then, when we get to the end of the movie, when we've defeated the queen and everyone's standing around very heroic and like kind of like sexy sweaty, you know, because that's what we do when we fight alien wars. And they're talking about setting up the sequel. Well, they're setting up the sequel, kind of, you know, they're like, we're gonna bring the fight to you and we're gonna join the intergalactic war. And then this little orc thing that's been helping us out, he's saying, we're gonna lead the resistance. Oh, I mean, come on. It's a little on the nose, isn't it, humans? Let's take it down a notch a little bit. Let's be real. We would not have won that. We would have died in 1998. Let's be real. This planet would be extinct if this happened. We would be so unready, even if we had the heart and the reserve that this movie says that us humans do have. Also, I'm gonna go on this for a second. After 1998, that whole alien battle, when they won, it brought the world together in peace and there was never wars and like every country was working together. Bullshit. No, every country would be trying to get their hands on that alien spaceware. Don't even try. Don't even try to pull that crap on me. Was there a good character in this? I don't know. Probably. There were some okay characters. There were characters that I didn't hate. I hated that guy that was following on Jeff Goldblum's guy for a while, and he's like, he turns to the South African or whatever tribe leader that was fighting that 10-year war with the aliens. Which also, what? There was a 10-year war with these aliens and everyone stayed out of it? Besides this tribe and the aliens? I thought this was supposed to... Okay, that's confusing to me. I kind of would like a graphic novel on the history of this war. I think that would be cool. I would honestly much rather have all of this Independence Day Resurgence stuff have been something cool like a graphic novel or just a book series. That would have been cool. And then these writers of this movie could actually have a template for this trilogy or whatever they were gonna make instead of writing the worst dialogue I've ever heard in a movie. Sorry, I feel like this is just like really pent up anger that I have. Also, it's like boiling in my apartment right now and I'm literally sweating. The back of my legs are sweating right now. That's how gross it is. So needless to say, I don't like this movie. I'm disappointed in it because it could have been something cool, you know? Nobody was necessarily asking for an Independence Day sequel or reboot or whatever this was. Also, they should have just waited until they convinced Will Smith to be back in it, because this thing where franchises are killing off their old main characters for dumb reasons, like what they did in Transformers last night with Sam Witwicky. This guy, they killed Will Smith in this movie. Like, come on, they did it in a test pilot. Like, he was just testing these things and it blew up. Like, really? That's how you're gonna make Will Smith go out? You know what? I can completely understand why Will Smith chose to do Suicide Squad over Independence Day Resurgence, because even though I did not really like whatever it's called, Suicide Squad, I love the characters, I love the actors in it. They made it to where I will go see a Suicide Squad too. Independence Day Resurgence has a terrible, terrible plot and terrible characters, so therefore, I guess he won? Okay everybody, I hope you liked this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up, comment down below. Did you like this movie? I would be interested to know if you did like it. Maybe your side of the story is a lot better than mine. Maybe I'm totally wrong, who knows? I don't think so, but you know, don't forget to subscribe. I make reviews Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Okay, bye!